Welcome back to the iRacing British Touring Car Championship here on BSR TV. This one is round 11 from Road America, the second of 3 races this evening. Another 8-lap race. In the commentary box, it's me, Chris Cohen, along with Marcus Narris. Evening, Marcus.
Evening again, Chris. Evening, everybody.
And Scott Woodwiss as well. Hello, Scott.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, good to be back once again.
It's another 8 laps, but this time with a reverse grid on the pole, 10 places, which puts Adam Terry on pole, and it puts the race winner Jamie Rushworth from the race just a moment ago in 10th place. It's going to be a tough call, Marcus, for Jamie Rushworth to get a lot higher with that kind of standard of driver in front of him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be one of those races where Jamie's going to have to be very, very careful, very, very cautious, and see if he can pick up places. I don't know, maybe for attrition, or we saw lots of cars driving off the circuit under their own accord in the first race. So patience may be the key for Jamie here.
Well, the standings up on your screen now. Let's remind you that these haven't been updated from round 10, so this is coming into this evening. Adam Terry had that lead. He came 10th in the last race, scoring 51 points. Chepelevsky outscored him by 3 points, so that gap would have closed a little bit. Jamie Rushworth, though, outscored those guys quite significantly. He's going to have closed up that gap as well. And Linus Brewstrom is the other Movigo Racing driver in the top 10, doing extremely well. No Russell Laidler this evening, Scott. That's going to be huge because it's 60 points for a win, and he's going to score no points out of 3 races. Could have been 180.
Yeah, it's quite disappointing, of course, like I said, with the fact that, you know, how many points differences there is between first and second and through the points that you can score. There really is no margin for error, effectively. You can get away with dropping a few spots in the race, of course, because you know the difference isn't going to be too massive. But of course, when you are having races where you're not scoring anything, you really are losing out big time, and that will just see you tumble down the order. And where you could have been a championship contender, after just a few bad results, you could see yourself almost kind of in the middle of a table, and that can really mean that you've got a real uphill struggle on your hands to get yourself back up there to contend for the title.
That happened, of course, to Simon Field, who has finished very strongly in nearly all of the races that he's been a part of so far, but finds himself 18th in the championship, and that's just because he's missed 2 races. No other reason there. And of course it hurts your team as well when you don't turn up. There are good reasons. I mean, we do this for fun, after all, and people have real life commitments. I should know that better than anybody else as well. But it does cost you. It cost Simon Field 17 places in the championship for missing those 2 races, unfortunately. But on the way back to the top after a 4th place finish in the last round. A quick look at the team standings, as we've got about 2 minutes before the cars make their way down to the grid. That's a big lead Bianco have right at the top, and with Hoog finishing so well and Terry finishing, you know, pretty well in 10th, Marcus, Bianco are somewhat of an unexpected force to be reckoned with this season.
Yeah, I mean, we had a few large, in inverted commas, teams joining the championship this year. You know, certainly the guys that joined us in the 2 CQR teams, you know, have a big history. But if you look at the makeup of that Bianco team, you know, they're consistently good racers. You know, Laura's had some excellent results this season. Adam Terry, obviously, very, very close in the first season of the BTCC, so the championship. You know, and Stefan Huger's proved a valuable addition to that team.
He has indeed. We're about a minute away now. Predictions for Jamie Rushworth, please, Scott. How high do you think? He thought top 5 if he was lucky. What do you think?
Well, I have to admit, I haven't seen what his racecraft's like at the moment. Of course, he did manage to make that pass, but effectively, I've only seen him pass 1 car over the time I've seen the race, and that was, of course, Chepelevsky into turn 1. So, whether or not he's got the racecraft to make his way through the top 10 and get himself back to the front, so he's someone like a Jan Paul Nyquist or Ben Tusting who can carve through the traffic as easily as that, remains to be seen. We'll have to wait and see what he can do, but obviously with these reverse races it does promote overtaking, it does promote the faster guys trying to come through the field. But as we've seen, a great example is the Carrera Cup. You know, starting in the 10th but being the fastest and starting 10th doesn't necessarily mean you're going to carve your way up through the field, because some of the guys who finish 9th or 10th and start themselves on the first couple of rows for race 2 put themselves with a great chance of getting an unexpected victory. So it all depends on how Russia can deal with the traffic, deal with the cars around him, and how quickly he can make his way through the field, provided that these guys don't make it too difficult for him.
And the car's about to make their way down to the grid. Just time to let you know that we have what seems like an obligatory presence on Twitter and on Facebook. The details are up on your screen. Give us a like or a follow on whatever service you fancy, and you can stay up to date with all the news from all the series we run here on BSR TV. Not just the British Touring Car Championship, we've got action from the Carrera Cup every Wednesday with these lovely guys here, Marcus and Scott, and we've also got the Skip Barber series, which takes place on Mondays as well. It's about time we got down to the track though, round 11, and is that a fair comment from Scott? Oh, you can't say it's not a fair comment, I suppose, Marcus, can you? But regarding Jamie Rushworth.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a fair comment. That said, he's certainly on it tonight. Just looking at the warm-up times from that short warm-up session before this race, Rushworth second, Chepelevsky first. So, you know, they're certainly the guys with the pace tonight. As Scott said, you know, if Jamie can be careful, if he's got the racecraft, he could get a very good result again here.
Well, that is Adam Terry on the front row of the grid, and Adam Terry is phenomenal this season. He really is a force to be reckoned with, but so is Hoog, his teammate Stefan Hoog, and we've seen the two of them work together very effectively throughout the season so far. Chepelevsky is kind of on his own. The Addison Lee guys he's got behind him not providing him with quite as much support, and we have the lights on now, so we're ready to go racing for round 11 of the iRacing British Touring Car Championship. From Road America we have green. Adam Terry leads the field away, and already there's a move to the centre by one of the Addison Lees here. Let's have a look. Adam Terry looks like he might well hold on to this one coming down into turn 1. Just look at all those cars making their way down into the first corner. Can everybody get through there in one piece? No is the answer. Someone's on the grass already. Oh, well, they've managed to keep that one under control, and yeah, the guys at the back, I take it back. The guys at the back did well to kind of keep that one under control.
I think one Addison Lee cars has run wide onto the grass. He's lost several spots. I need to work out who that is. Either
that's Smolinski, and someone's spinning. Who's that that's spinning there? That was, I think that was Tim Mawson we've lost. Yeah, we lost Tim Mawson, and I spoke a little bit too soon there. See if we can get a quick replay of that unfortunate incident for Tim Mawson.
Yeah, certainly it was really a poor situation for Tim. Of course, he's now found himself down the back of the field and with a lot of work to do. But Terry's done incredibly well to hold on to first place, and a great start also from Kevin Critchley. Started in third and already fought his way up past Smolenski, of course, and he's now up chasing after Terry with Chepelevsky pushing hard in third, and Sutton's up to fourth as well. So a good start for some of the front runners. And as for Jamie Rushworth, doesn't look as though he's made up too many places. If I look at where he is right now on my screen very quickly,
Jamie Rushworth is in 8th place, and he has got past last season's champion Andreas Katz already.
But speaking of previous champions, unfortunately it looks like Ellis Stevens missed the start. He's joined the race now, but he's dead last, and that's a blow for the guy who came into this evening sitting 5th in the championship.
Well, it really is. He's 32 seconds behind already, so that is a big gap. Not going to score that well, but you know, from 5th in the championship, it's going to hurt him quite badly. That Terry, though, has this buffer of the relatively unknown Kevin Critchley now in 2nd place. He's going to want to try and pull away as quickly as possible and leave these guys to battle it out, right, Marcus?
Yeah, I mean, there's a long way to go yet, so I think he'll just be waiting to see what happens. There's, you know.
Oh, and those fags got together with Hoog. Sorry, Marcus, to cut across you there, but Hoog and Fag got together, and Hoog looks to be the loser as he's pushed off into the gravel, taking leaps and bounds through that rough stuff, getting back on the track, down in 12th place. So that's big blow for Stefan Hoog.
Yeah, and almost to prove my point, you know, you can look very settled in these races, and it can all change in an instant, and that's Fag out of the race by the looks of it.
Robert Fag is slowing down, so has he got a problem? Maybe there was some damage after that incident there. He's got going again.
Yeah, he's pulling hard to the right, I think. I think he's going to struggle to keep that thing in a straight line.
And he wants to watch out. That's Matthew Webb and Nils Jordan behind him. Wants to watch out that he doesn't get caught up with those guys if he does have damage. But he's missed the pit lane, of course. He took that decision too late to go into the pit lane. He's bombed past Laura Bond, though. So, oh yeah, the car doesn't look too healthy, does it, Scott?
No, but change to the lead though. Critchley's up the inside of Terry, runs a little too deep, and I think he hasn't made that sticky, but he's gone wide onto the exit, almost like an Ashley Sutton-esque move, runs over the cross, and ironically that's now allowed by Chepelewski, and Ashley Sutton, there's contact! Sutton goes across the grass, Critchley's across the gravel on the outside of turn 5 underneath the Corvette bridge. He's lost another couple of places as Simon Field goes by, but a rather ambitious move from Sutton trying to get up the inside. Look as though Critchley possibly closed the door, and the two of them just made contact, and both of them went off into the grass.
Let's have another look at that on the replay from Ashley Sutton's point of view. He was pretty far down the inside. It looks like Critchley just turned in on him there. Probably would have gone for that one myself if I'm perfectly honest there, but you know, I'm not driving these things, these guys are. So Sutton maintains third, Critchley is down in 5th now, so that wild card has proven to be quite wild indeed.
Yeah, and they were lucky to get away with as little consequences they did, whether it was great driving, good luck, or a combination of the both. For both cars to come out of that incident pointing in the right direction is almost unbelievable.
And Craig Burleson down in 10th at the moment, David Baker just behind him. Hoog is in 12th after that, coming together with Robert Fagg. Christian Rose 13th, Linus Brewstrom, or Linus Brewstrom perhaps, in 14th place. It would help if he just told us, wouldn't it? We should get him on. But not right now because he's got a race to fight. And Dan Hunt being challenged by Robert Burton. Burton on the left in the Airwaves car has the inside line for the final corner, and he's going to take the place away from Dan Hunt here, but there's other cars waiting behind, Janowski and Hefford as well. Janowski and Hefford side by side through the final corner. Hefford's on the outside, he's not going to get pushed off into the gravel. They're still side by side though, Janowski with that amazingly close finish in the last race. And who can get down to turn 1 the quickest, that's the question. Addison Lee versus 888, so we come on to lap 3 here, still side by side. Janowski's got the inside line here. Where's it going to go, Scott? Scott doesn't know. They're still side by side. Unbelievable. Stephen Hefford is just pulling out ahead. He's going to take the position. No, he's not. Janowski's touched him. Oh, the slightest of contacts there, and Hefford is okay, I think, but that's going to allow Reggie Blaine through. Reggie Blaine is coming up the side of Julian Janowski right now. And Janowski's in real trouble. Janowski's going to lose his place to Blaine, I think. Marcus, you there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always great racing in the midfield. I have to say that because when I'm racing, that's generally where I am. So it's great to see some of the guys that I'm generally racing against putting in such a strong performance. Now
Blaine is side by side with Hefford. Looks to go around the outside. Hefford will have this one. Janowski's not letting go, and that is Robert Plumley right behind. Let's have a look at that from Robert Plumley's point of view. He's down the inside of Janowski. He's made contact, and we've seen that before from Plumley, haven't we? Getting down the inside of somebody and then making a bit of contact. Looks like he's lost out that time, but what did you make of that?
Yet again, they get away with it. Just a couple of places lost, nobody's in the tyres, and there's no major problems. I know certainly Stephen Hefford will be delighted to be clear of that in the 888 racing machine. Usually if there's an accident, he's somewhere in the middle of it, so he'll be pleased not to be a part of that one.
Well, I just need to catch my breath now, but we're watching Simon Field right behind Ashley Sutton. This is the battle for 3rd place. Field can't make that one work as we come into Canada Corner for number 3. Back with us, Scott?
Yeah, so I wanted to issue the my voice or connection was cutting out a little bit, but I am back with it and just watching that battle going on. I think there was a little bit of contact. There was a bit of a touch in turn 5, I think there was, between both Sutton and Field, and Sutton managed to get away with it, but these two have been really bumper to bumper for the part around this whole lap, and now Sutton's just trying to keep in touch with Chepelewski and Terry, and Chepelewski in fact is really giving Terry the hurry up down the pit straight. There could even be a chance to make a pass for the lead here at round 11 of the iRacing BTCC. He goes to the outside. Terry's going to have to defend as they head down towards turn 1. Who's going to be last of the late breakers down in there? Terry moves across on the line and hits Chepelewski. That was a bit cheeky from...
Oh, there's contact with Sutton as well.
Sutton goes up the inside, loses out as Chepelewski shut the door, and that just allows Simon Field to take the place he's been longing for that whole lap, and all the changes literally in the twinkling of an eye, and that was all started by Adam Terry moving across, and I'm not sure that he realised Chepelewski was that far alongside.
Well, let's go back and have another look at that one on the replay, because it is an interesting question, isn't it? Did Adam Terry give him enough room? As we come into the braking zone there, yeah, you can see Terry's moving over to the left-hand side under the brakes. And that is the tiniest of contacts, isn't it? Looked like Chepelewski didn't want to move over, or couldn't move over. But what do you make of that, Marcus?
Yeah, it just looks like one of those things to me, to be honest with you. It looks like a lack of awareness rather than any particular aggression or, deliberate blocking. These things are going to happen when these guys are racing that hard, and to be fair, it was almost inevitable. I'm just glad that it wasn't too bad an incident and everyone's still running.
Well, Jamie Rushworth is now up to 7th place. We're looking at Andreas Katz in the middle of that little pack there, with Kevin Critchley just up in front. Critchley would do very well to hold on to 5th here, wouldn't he, Scott?
He certainly would. It would definitely make an impression on any other teams, and certainly like anyone who's looking for possibly a driver for either the Carrera Cup or for the Skip Barber Championship. So he's definitely making a name for himself up in 5th place in what I think is only his 2nd race as a wild card in the BTCC, but definitely making the impact that I think he was intending to make in this championship.
Meanwhile, that battle with Rob Burton and Dan Hunt is still going on over 15th place. Burton got in front of Hunt, but Hunt hasn't given up the fight just yet. He is just 0.3 behind Burton. You can see how close they are on your screen right now, and if Burton has anything go wrong in any mistakes or anything like that, he will lose that position. But just behind them, Stephen Hefford is battling out with Matthew Webb. That's Hefford in the 888, the black car just to the rear of Matthew Webb. But Matthew Webb goes wide at Canada. Ooh, it's going to be a 3-way battle now because Matt Walker's joined in as well. Matt Walker gets past Hefford. Well, almost, the side by side. Hefford's going to have the line down into the final corner. Now Matt Walker's going to have to go around the outside if he wants to hold on to this one. Wisely gives Stephen Hefford a lot of room here. And we were saying before about how these drivers often tend to spread out on these kind of tracks a lot, but when they don't, that's when all the action happens, Marcus.
Yeah, and it's great racing. I've been watching this battle in the midfield. Unfortunately, Stephen Hefford got caught by Richie Blaine on that last lap. Blaine's off in the distance, and Hefford's lost 3 or 4 places as a result of it, and now he's got Matt Walker in that KX machine, which goes wide as we're looking at it. Walker's off the road, he's lost 3 or 4 places, or he's not going to be popular with his team principal after the race, believe you me, for driving that off the circuit.
But now he has Martin Johnson on his tail for CQR, well, one of the CQR teams anyway. There's 3 of them in this championship, all doing pretty well. Martin Johnson's actually doing pretty well in the championship, but perhaps Road America's just not his track. It's we see Hefford. Well, Hefford's surely not going to make a move on Janowski here. Thinks about it down the inside. He's gone very wide, and Janowski's gone wide as well. That's going to let Nils Jordan through, is it? Just about holds on to it. Steve Richardson will go past Stephen Hefford though. Takes the position, and just look at those 3, nose to tail. Johnson's got past Walker.
Meanwhile, up front, something's happened up front. Adam Terry has slowed slightly, and it's allowed the pack behind him to bunch right up, and we've got a train of 1, 2, 3, 7 cars, nose to tail, just coming through the bend now on the run down towards Canada Corner. It's the closest it's been all race.
Who taught you to count, Marcus? There's 4 after 7, isn't it?
Is there? Okay, I can't see.
So Adam Terry slowed down, and that's allowed actually Sutton through side by side with Simon Field. Simon Field will, well, he'll want this position really badly, but Sutton, he knows how to make an overtake if there's even the slightest bit of opportunity. Watch out for Kevin Critchley just behind these guys, and Katz is licking his lips at the moment. So Sutton through to 3rd position, Field 4th, and Katz is on the charge down the start-finish straight.
And there's 2 pairs of cars drafting hard there. Simon Field right up behind Ashley Sutton again. As just behind him, Kevin Critchley and Andreas Katz go at it. It's going to be... Oh, I think they'll be lucky to get away with that contact here.
Oh, and there's 3 pairs of cars there because the leaders are side by side. Sutton very late on the brakes, gets the job done just about. Rushworth is on the attack from Katz. Katz is having to go defensive, takes the inside line there. He will hold on to that, but look at Simon Field. Look at Simon Field go. He's trying everything he knows to get past Ashley Sutton with 3 laps to go here. No change just yet. Terry still leads from Chepolevsky, but like I said in the last race, Scott, something's got to give, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've actually been able to keep track of it, but twice now Chepolevsky's tried to the outside once again. After small contact, he's tried twice again. He's been close trying to get up the inside, but just hasn't been able to make it stick. But everything's all kicking off behind in the battle that's going on for 3rd place, which is now headed by Ashley Sutton after that move, defending from Simon Field. and it's good to see both Critchley and Katz and Rushworth all getting involved too. So a nice 7-car train packing. It's the Super 7 as they head down towards the carousel once again for the 6th time out of 8. And Chepelewski really is trying. He seems to close in the latter half of the lap, and then just makes an attempt down towards turn 1. And this is the fourth time he's done that now in 4 consecutive laps. And just it seems that Terry seems to have the defensive edge when it comes to holding on to that position.
Well, Chepelewski doesn't need the win. It's always nice to win a race, but it's only 1 point difference, isn't it? So it's got to be going through both of these drivers' minds that they're going to shed about 60 points if they crash out, and if they just hold fast, they only really separate themselves by 1.
Yeah, it's very easy to say that for us sitting here watching this from a distance. When you're in there and the blood's up, believe me, you're not necessarily worried about whether it's 1 point, 10 points or 50 points. You just want to get past that guy in front.
So Chepelewski at this stage in the season probably favourite to take the entire season based on previous results, but we've seen a lot of mistakes from a lot of drivers, and we've seen a lot of unfortunate circumstances in this championship. We have 2 more laps to go as Adam Terry begins the penultimate lap here at Road America. Chepelewski's in the draft once again, and this draft really closes up the pack. Chepelewski's not going to be able to do anything this time round. Sutton, though, holds on to 3rd, ahead of Simon Field. Simon Field, he's on the attack, isn't he, Scott? He really wants to get that 3rd place.
He's certainly trying, isn't he? He's certainly trying to put the pressure on as they head out of turn 2 onto this these long back straight for the first time. And Chepelewski looks as though he's ready to possibly to make a pass, lining up Terry down towards turn 4. He's trying to move to the inside, but Terry again just squeezing him, not giving enough room, gives him just about a car's width. And now Chepelewski's saying, come on Adam, give me some room here, play fair. And he's going to have to, because up the inside they come under brakes. Chepelewski's got the line, Terry's going to turn across regardless and hold on to the outside line. Sutton's getting involved as well. Look at that, Terry's held on to an outside pass, something that Ashley Sutton couldn't do it. Ashley's thinking, why is it you can do it and I can't? And Chepelewski holds on to the lead, he's got his nose in front just about. Is Terry going to again hold the inside line for the next right-hander? Yes he is. Chepelewski forcing the outside a little bit wide. Here comes Sutton the exit. He might even take advantage of this so they come down towards the left-hander. And now Sutton's got to 2nd place. That's incredible. He's trying to go round the outside of Terry. Can he get it done this time? No, he's on the gravel and Chepelewski just holds on. Can't get himself through. He's
unbelievable.
Incredible racing from all of these guys.
And everyone's kept it on the road as well. Fantastic stuff to see. And Sutton really was gifted that position with a scrap between Chepelewski and Terry. And Chepelewski's got to be wondering, what more has he got to do? What clearer opportunity can he have to take that race lead, Marcus?
Yeah, I think he's going to need to be patient. You know, we just saw then, you know, one missed overtake can really slow this pack down, and what you can find is, you know, Ashley Sutton benefited there. A failed overtake slowed everybody down, and he was able to slip through. What is interesting is that keeping a watching brief as all that was going on is Jamie Rushworth, you know, and he'll certainly be hoping that the guys up front tangle and he can improve on that 7th place.
Well, does Terry have the pace to keep Sutton behind him for 1 more lap? Sutton is on the warpath. He's smelled blood now, hasn't he? He's had Chepelewski's blood. He wants some of Terry's. Much better exit as well, yeah.
Here he comes.
Terry holds onto the inside line.
He's coming, he's definitely put. In fact, look at his nose was literally just ahead as they came across the line.
Oh, and he's come across!
Oh, huge accident! Sutton goes over on his roof, over and over goes Ashley Sutton. He's been hit by also Simon Field. There's cars every which way. And I think...
Unbelievable!
Oh, huge accident. Sutton hasn't even finished rolling. He ends up on his roof. And that all started... I'm not sure... well, I'm not sure how to call that one. It looked as though Sutton moved across. And effectively, Terry was thinking, well, where do you want me to go? Because Sutton forced him, more or less, across into the pit wall in many cases. Not to blame entirely on Sutton, but Sutton, though, just kept on moving across and left Terry with nowhere to go. And that's how it all started. But I think... incredibly, I think Jamie Rushworth is the man that's benefited from that. I think it's him or he is leading. So Jamie Rushworth, incredibly, despite the fact he was practically at the back of this train, has benefited from the fact that all 6 of the cars in front of him got caught up in that incident, and suddenly on the last lap, he finds himself leading again.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row. I'm off to buy myself a lottery ticket, I think, with the predictions I've been making so far tonight.
What the question is, we're looking at this on the replay. Why is Sutton moving to the right here? Terry holds his line. Terry could have moved to the right. You've got to feel though like Sutton's moved across, and the question is why. I mean, look at the carnage, look at the absolute destruction that has caused. First of all, it's Sutton and Terry, and then, well, Simon feels hard on the brakes. He knows something's going to happen here. Chepelevsky's pulling off the track. I don't know if he knew something was going to happen, or if he's already been hit, or what. And then, well, it's all happening. It's all broken loose there. Let's go back and have another look at that very briefly, because we're right at the end of the race here. But can we have a look at that one from the point of view of Jamie Rushworth? Because his actions here are crucial, aren't they? What Jamie Rushworth does next once this all kicks off. We're on board with Rushworth for a replay. Yes, so, well, he sees the incident. Hard on the brakes. Chepelevsky's already pulling off. Now I wonder why that is. And yep, Rushworth does the right thing. He thinks, right, I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to wait here and see what happens. And look, this is exactly what's happened. Round the last corner he comes, and he takes the flag. Meanwhile, what's happened to Chepelevsky? Because can someone explain to me? He didn't get hit, did he?
I'm just trying to figure that out now. I'm looking at it. I can't really understand exactly what's going on there. I don't know if he thought the race was over or...
Meanwhile, guys, we do have a winner, and it is Jamie Rushworth.
Jamie Rushworth wins. That's the second place to Cats, I believe, and Simon Field managed to get it home in third place there. Let's see if we can get some results up on your screen.
For me, it's showing Simon in second.
He is.
Second place,
no, you're right. He's in Simon. And look at this CQR. Where do they come from? Craig Burleson fourth, Christian Rose fifth, David Baker sixth, Hoog seventh, Brewstrom in eighth, Smolensky ninth, McCarran 10th. But I'm slightly lost for words there. I do not know what happened to Stelian Chepelevsky. Let's go back and have another look at that one, if we can, on the replay. And it might take us a little while just to find that on the replay, but let's see if we can get it up anyway.
I don't know what's happened to Chepelevsky. I've watched it. He's pulled off the road, come to a complete stop, and disconnected from the service. I think he thinks the race is over.
If that's the case, that's quite a facepalm moment, because surely it must have been on his readout that he knows just how many races it is. Surely if he did 8 laps in race 1, surely you couldn't have thought there was one less lap in race 2, surely.
And the large checkered flag would give it away, surely. So, yeah, over the line here we go, on the replay. We're on board with Chepelevsky, currently running in third place. Sutton on the left, Terry on the right. Sutton moves across, we've seen that. Well, it's 6 of one, maybe 7 of one, half a dozen minus one of another. Yep, Chepelevsky just pulls off the road, no contact. That is remarkable that he's done that. Absolutely remarkable. I can't believe it, guys.
I would actually, if we can, love to get the thoughts of Jamie if we can get him back in, because I'd love to see what he made of everything from his point of view, because of course we saw he managed to get away from everything in avoidance and brake hard, which is what you're supposed to do to keep your safety rating in iRacing, to avoid the accident. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it'd be great to get, possibly can get some insight as to what he was thinking, what was to everything that was going on in front of him.
Well, let's see if we can do one better, because we spoke to Jamie last time, so let's see if we can speak to Stelian himself. Mr. Chepelevsky, are you with us? I think he's possibly taking a break, or as you say, palming his face quite hard there. But right, let's go over and see if we can speak to Jamie about this, because that was quite a finish. Jamie, you back with us?
Hello again.
What a last lap. Talk us through that start-finish straight carnage, shall we say?
I'll be honest, I saw smoke and then I saw nothing else. Sort of just acted on instinct there.
Well, one of the things that in the commentary box we were looking at there was you were aware that Stelian Chepelevsky was in front of you in third place. He pulled off the road and stopped the car, but it seemed to be a lap early. It was almost as if he thought the race was over. I mean, that wasn't the case for anyone else involved, was it?
Oh, is that what caused the accident?
No, it was Sutton and Terry got together on the start-finish straight. Mysterious circumstances there, but just behind them, it looks as though Chepelewski thought that was the last lap and pulled off the track. But I don't suppose you noticed that in all the carnage.
No, to be honest, I didn't. But that's bizarre.
So it wasn't an iRacing fault, as in you knew that there was one lap left. The white flag was out.
Yeah, the white flag was out.
And it's probably fair to say that up until that last lap, you probably didn't think you were going to win that one.
No, definitely not.
But you know, power to you for keeping out of that rather large accident. We were just saying in the commentary box as well how important it is to, you know, just first things first, stop the car. And it didn't look like you had too many other people to kind of avoid there. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, the path sort of cleared in front of me. I couldn't have been more lucky.
One more race to come. You're going to be starting in 10th again. You're probably wishing for another start-finish straight crash, I suppose, to gift you that win, unless you fancy taking it for yourself.
Well, I mean, that's going to be the only way I get it. I hope for a clean race.
Well, Road America, and in particular the Movie Go Racing team, have provided nothing but entertainment tonight, so keep it up, and we'll see you in race 3.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jamie. That's Jamie Rushworth there for Movie Go Racing, and it's a shame we couldn't get a word with Stellian, wasn't it?
Yep, don't worry, I'll get on the case in between these two races. I'll get in amongst the drivers' chat and see if I can grab him as soon as he's finished face palming himself.
Well, I can't. Scott, give me your opinion on this. Would you rather, if you had to watch one race, would it rather have been race 1 or race 2? I can't decide.
Oh, it's a tricky one. I think for the action of the final couple of laps, race 2 for me was a little bit more exciting because the fact that it was battles for the lead, and the fact that the top 7 was eventually got so kind of caught up with each other that it was just incredible. Of course, we had all that battling going on between Sutton getting himself into second place, and then I'm not quite sure what's going on. Of course, like we said, Ashley's going to go into real racing, and you know, regardless if it's single seaters or if it's touring cars, whatever it is. Ashley, he's tried out braking manoeuvres and it hasn't worked. Now, for whatever reason, he's moved across Adam Terry. Of course, they're both in the same room, so I'm pretty sure they're probably either not speaking to each other or they're probably having it out with each other at some point about exactly what happened. But the bottom line is, you cannot move across when you know you've got someone alongside you. Effectively, surely Ashley must have realised again that he realised that Adam was there, and he knew that he was alongside. He was pulling across. Surely he realised that he wasn't going fast enough to completely clear him, but before he was going to make that move. I can't fathom as to what the mindset for Ashley was when he moved across on Terry like that. And Adam's was probably sat there thinking, Ashley, what the hell are you doing? You forced me across to the pit wall already. Where else do you want me to go? I can't fathom where that comes from.
And here's Marcus with an update.
Yes, I've just spoken to Adam Terry, Ashley Sutton and Stellian Chepelewski. Adam and Ashley are being fairly circumspect about what happened. You know, Ashley's making no bones of the fact that he was trying to minimise the amount of room that Adam had. Adam was trying to give himself the maximum possible amount of room, and they just came together. You know, they're both experienced racers. However, the real beasting that's going on there at the moment is for Stellian Chepelewski, who did think the race had finished. Pulled off the side of the track, disconnected, and went to get himself a drink.
And when he came back, he realised he had been pushed down to 29th position, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. To his credit, I mean, you know, Cheppy's he's a lovely guy, and he's taking it in the humour that he certainly deserves to. But he's getting a bit of a rough time in the drivers' chat channel.
It's not the first mistake of that type from Chepelewski, who did miss a race by connecting to the wrong session earlier in the season. Sorry, Cheppy, it's a bit embarrassing, but you know, if his kind of attention span was as good off the track as it was on the track, then he would have a lot more points than he does now. I don't want to rub it in too much, but he'll be back in race 3. Who knows what he can do in race 3?
Yeah, fingers crossed. It'd be great to see if he can possibly kind of redeem himself for that one. But I mean, it's Cheppy obviously has tried his best, and mistakes like this happen, of course. Like, effectively, he's just got to put it behind him and say, look, but just take up my chin and say, okay, I messed up, but there's always a third race. We'll see what we can do. But in fact, it does mean, of course, that we do get to see someone else trying to carve the way through the field. he'll start from 29th, of course, on the grid, and of course he'll have another 8 laps to try and make his way up towards the front of the pack again. But I guess one positive that Chep can take away from it, because it seems to be in these kind of instances there's always is some kind of positive, is that he did manage to avoid all the carnage that was going on in front of him. So he did manage to kind of eject himself from that, but I think he ejected himself not only from the carnage but from the race rather prematurely, which was of course to his downfall, because of course it meant that he had to drop down to near the back of the field, which is where he'll start for race 3.
Round 11 was remarkable. Round 12 is coming your way here on BSR TV in just a few minutes. So if you're watching live or whether you're watching later on, make sure you tune to the next video for round 12. And Marcus, Scott and I will be back in just a moment.